Syracuse. And Larry Breed's on board. Apparently this sounds good tonight on the backup anyway. It took us a while to get there. Ian St. John to the middle, cut out, and back up top Clausen, now to Deckman. Deckman works high right, takes his man to the bucket, turns, fire. Backdoor, Richmond scores! 21-11. Eagles have had their way underneath. Coach Joe Luce not happy. And he lost to us on a couple buzzer beaters last year up at Northwood when he was coaching Tippecanoe Valley. And it's tipped away, almost stolen by Columbia City, but Shoemaker checked that. Andrews got it. Andrew up the wing to Acosta. Acosta drives across the paint. No further play. We're going to have a Columbia City foul on Richmond. So, and team third with 5:01 to go in the second quarter. And it will be the ball out of bounds to the Warriors up top. Tied up is Shoemaker. And now backed off the play top key, Lashley. Lashley moves it for Andrew. Back up top, Acase, left elbow extended. What's he going to do? Richmond's on him. Acase puts it on the floor. Jump pass for Lashley. They can't get anything done. Shoemaker up top. Check that. That's Holsworth. Holsworth's got an alley to the bucket cut off nicely by Richmond. Fadeaway is going to be an air ball. They get hit the loose ball and score. Hayden Andrew picks up the garbage, puts it in. 21-13, Columbia City. 4:24 to go in the second. And Richmond up top. Gives it to Ian St. John on the right wing. Richmond sets the screen. St. John razzle-dazzle. Can't shake his man. Deckman into the corner to Richmond. Richmond deep in the baseline corner. Up the wing, Marshall. In front of the Wawasee bench at the far end. Marshall flips to Richmond. Richmond takes the Acase to the bucket. Puts it up. Nice stutter step move, score. And timeout, Columbia City.
Timeout, Columbia City. 30 seconds.
So Columbia City, a 30-second timeout. And with 3:56 to go. Glad you're with us as this took a while. We've had some signal problems and whatnot. We have had issues in the past here, but not like this. But we're on, and that's the operative thing right now. At least, well, Brandon Marshall will not be able to join me tonight as I don't have a second set on this headset on the backup. So he retreats to the stands to watch his son play tonight. That way he can yell. So 3:56 to go, second good, their second quarter. Hopefully we're sounding good. And it will be Wawasee basketball. They bring it to midcourt. And Holsworth. Hands off top. The key Shoemaker's got it. And knocked away by Clausen into the, as he about falls into the Columbia City bench. Not much room on the sidelines here at the Hardwood TP. So it'll be Wawasee basketball over by the Columbia City bench. And in the backcourt, St. John pesters his man with the Shoemaker. Dumps it off Acase. Dumps it down low to the bucket. No, but whistle and a quick foul on the Eagles. So Eberly picks up the foul. Caden Andrew will shoot 2 for the Warriors with 3.5 to go in the half. And he misses back iron. Eagles still lead by 10. Eagle JV won by 4 earlier this evening. So another one for Caden Andrew. And he got that one. So Columbia City basketball, they lead at 23-14. And Camden Clausen for the Eagles up top. Now Eberle to Richmond, dumps it further down the left side. Marshall to Richmond down low. Kicks it out, Clausen. Into the corner, Eberle's got it deep. Eberle looking around. Threw it underneath, knocked away, but Columbia City saves it. Clausen back in the corner, Richmond. And Richmond down low to Marshall. Marshall, left baseline. Elbows his way in across the paint. Flips it out. Traveling on Owen Marshall. So turnover Eagles, 2:56 to go in the first half, 23-14. Glad you're with me. Andrew Thompson, WJHS. Our thanks to Maddie and Katherine and Siri and Mr. Glaza, as we kind of had everybody involved trying to get this on in some way, shape, or form. We're on a backup gig, but apparently okay for now. Holtzworth into the corner. They fake the three. Can't get the shot off. Worrell back up top now to Holtzworth. Holtzworth loads up a three. That's off the mark. Rebound cleared by St. John. Knocked away. Marshall in a scramble in. Flips to St. John from the seat of his pants. St. John into the front court. St. John left side high. Finds Clausen in the corner. Clausen penetrates. Gets hammered. No further play. Akase or Lashley. They give it to Lashley. Now they gave it to Worrell. So it's first team second. With 2:20 to go first half, Camden Clausen will shoot two for the Eagles, dressed in the road black tonight. Old gold numerals, maroon trim. Referees Kirk Robinson, Tim Smith, and Eric Coburn. Meanwhile, Clausen drains the free throw, 24-14, Columbia City. Been a wild, frenetic start to this one. And Clausen again. 25-14 Eagle. And here comes Wawasee to the midcourt strike. As we've got Holtzworth. Left side Shoemaker. Shoemaker across the key. Can't find anything there. Worrell. Back to Shoemaker. Now a long one out of the corner. Three, and it's good. Holtzworth makes it 25-17. Under 2 to go. First half, Marshall across the key. Sends all the way and no further play. Foul's going to be on the floor. Did Akase get it? And Shoemaker gets it. His first, team third. And up top, Eagles inbound it. 3-team fouls on the Warriors. St. John all the way in. Knocked the Zeno's pants. Richmond put it up. No good on a putback. And Holtzworth. And we go up and a foul on Columbia City's Ian St. John. And that's 5-team fouls. So we're in the penalty. Holtzworth will shoot free throws. Joe Luce takes all his players back to the backcourt, so no Warriors in the lane. So Columbia City could have an unimpeded rebound if Holtzworth misses. And he fires short. 1:37 to go first half. 25-17 the Eagles here at the Hardwood TP in Syracuse. Been a wild one. And Holtzworth will have another. He eyes it right below me and didn't get the roll. 0-2. Cleared by Marshall. Here comes Ian St. John. St. John to the midcourt stripe with a minute and a half to go in the half. Eagles by 8 over the Warriors. Could be a sectional preview at Columbia City High School in March. And we got a loose ball foul on Wawasee. Coach Luce not happy. Holtzworth gets the foul. His second, team's fourth. Caden Andrew comes in for Holtzworth. They're checked out, Worrell. Holtzworth stays in with the 2 fouls. And now there's the makeup call. If they're going to call Marshall for a push, those will be 2 shots for Wawasee. And Tyler Waybright's going to check into the basketball game. Marshall's first, but they should be shooting too, although that was a foul on offense, so no free throws, right? Waybright for St. John. So 1:20 to go. Here come the Warriors. Clausen back to Pester Holsworth in the backcourt. Holsworth accelerates into the front court. Then backed off the play, Shoemaker. Down to Akase, right elbow extended. Akase works against Richmond. Coach Joe Luce on the floor directing traffic. Not much room for a coach's box here. Akase backs in on Richmond. And bodies, turns, jump hook, scores. So Akase makes it a 6-point contest. Columbia City 25, Warriors 19. So 44 seconds. Maybe the Eagles hold for one. It certainly looks as though. And we're just going to salt it away for one, it appears. 30 seconds. And we aren't going to hold it. Wawasee's got a little bit of a run going. And we're down to 15. Yeah, Richmond starts to make the move with 10. Marshall up top. Marshall spins. Down low. Backdoor. Score. Richmond. Reverse layup. Buzzer. Oh. 3/4 court shot. Good, but it's after the buzzer. 27-19. Wawasee just hit a 3/4 court shot at the buzzer, nothing but net, but it was after the buzzer, so does not count. As the red light had gone off. Wow. So we go to the intermission, and I don't know that I'm going to get any stats up here. So we might have to ad-lib a while.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the court our junior Warriors.
So I give you the score of what's on the board. Has a little "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey across the PA. So for Columbia City, Clausen has 7 points. Marshall has 4. Eberle's in the lineup, but no score. Richmond, 13. And Waybright just checked into the ballgame. He doesn't have any. And these are just what's off the scoreboard. I don't physically have any stats. For Wawasee, the scores I can obtain: Shoemaker 5. Actually, Shoemaker 3. Holsworth 5. Akase has 8. Lashley, none. And 34, Caden Andrew has 3. But again, those are only what's on the scoreboard. So a junior basketball game. So we'll kind of stand by and see if I can find some stats somewhere along the line. Well, the Trimmers welcome the broadcast. Well, we've had some trouble up here tonight, but we got a backup playing to work. So credit everybody at the station. So welcome to the broadcast. Glad you hung around with us. Been a trying night. We've had some problems up here at Wawasee in the past. 2 years ago we were fine. Last year we never got on the air for the girls' game as they were doing renovations. But we're at least on. We've got 3/4 of the game roughly for you. And it's 27-19 in favor of the Columbia City Eagles. As we're at halftime, been a good one. Really been a good one. And let's see what else we can pick up along the line here. And hoping to get a hold of one of the stat boys, but I think they're in the locker room. So we're going to go with what we had as far as stats. As we'll try to look up some other stuff here. And not exactly finding what I want right now, but we'll get there sooner or later. As don't forget the girls host Norwell Friday night. And the boys will host Carroll Saturday night. So a couple doubleheader at home this weekend. So that'll be nice to be back to the friendly confines. Lady Eagles struggled at Homestead last night, so they'll be looking to get it back against a very good Norwell squad. And actually, Norwell and Homestead ranked 2-3 in the 4A poll. Of course, Norwell had to move up on the success factor. And Norwell already blasted Homestead by 25 earlier this season. Kind of interesting. So that's kind of where we're at. Let's see, I believe swimming was in action at Southside against Northside tonight. I don't have any wrestling information currently, but Coach Culp not checking in yet. So I guess I could read Mr. Leach's Twitter. And we'll try to pick up some more things along the line here. At the Hardwood TP in Syracuse. And see if I still nobody I can flag down for stats, but see if Marshall's around. Maybe he could get me stats from the book, but it looks like he's busy talking. He wants to be my color commentator tonight. But obviously on this backup setup, only one of us can broadcast. So at least we are on in this capacity. So we'll try to get things and there's still the junior league going on down here, so they're playing away. Eagles come back to the floor. I'll have to wait to get things going as far as warming up. So again, Friday night, girls host Norwell. Saturday night, the boys will host Carroll. Supposed to be a couple of Donnybrook. And we'll be at home at least. So we'll be ready for that. Apparent snow coming this weekend, but we'll see what happens. Barnhart down there. If I get his attention, I could get some stats. Work out. So we'll stand by and ad lib a little more as the junior game should be about wrapping up. Man, it looks as though that will do it for that. As the Eagles come onto the floor to warm up now. Wawasee has to make an appearance. And a good crowd here tonight at the Hardwood TP here in Syracuse. Some of the guys hassling me over there said they had to bring me some stats or a hot dog, for goodness sakes. But it was all we could do to get this shebang on the air, so at least that worked out. So glad you're hanging with us tonight. So again, Maddie handling things back to the station with Katherine and Siri, and we have Mr. Claus involved. So at least we're on. The bottom line here. Oh, there's Mitch Wilson, big timer. Hey, get on. Mitch Wilson, of course, Columbia City's all-time leading scorer, now on the Huntington University staff. So he's So we'll see. And Columbia City reports to the bench. Wawasee has finally come out. Coach Joe Luce was none too happy earlier. Coach Luce has bounced around. Of course, the tip of Canoe Valley the last couple of years, 3 years, somewhere in there. Kase comes over from Mississippi Valley with him and a couple others, but they have to set out, I guess, 30 days before they can play. A couple of the other guys. Mitch is probably, he's on Huntington University staff. Mitch is probably recruiting for Huntington U. So he stopped by on the way across the upper tier here and said hi to me. And we're about ready. Wawasee yet to break their huddle. Eagles 27, Warriors 29, or 19, I should say, sorry. 27-19 Eagles here at the Hardwood TP in Syracuse. Looking to go 3-0. Of course, it's been kind of a little bit of a discombobulated start with the Warsaw game getting canceled. That's now January 17th. I believe I saw the girls' Swinger games now rescheduled for January the 10th. So, all right, here we go. Wawasee basketball. Glad you're with me on WJHS tonight. A couple of you have checked in. Mandy Hartman, Larry Reed, the Trimmers, among others. So Wawasee with it. And Shoemaker up top. Over on the wing for Holsworth. Holsworth with the dribble. Around the key left. Shoves it to Shoemaker left side. Well outside the arc. In the corner, Holsworth again. Now Akase with it. He hands back to Holsworth. Holsworth. Guarded closely by Beckman. They dump it to Akase down low. Back for a three. Holsworth. Short. And that's off of Akase, Columbia City ball. So I don't think the possession Coach Luce was looking for, as he's rather animated over there. Coach Schaus rather docile tonight. Marshall to the bucket, no further play. What? Oh, my. Coach Schaus is up off the bench red hot now. It said Marshall went with the shoulder. I had a good look at that one. That was right below me. That was a little bit suspicious. Okay, player control foul, returns it to Wawasee. Lost the handle, almost picked. And there's a travel on Holsworth. It's loose on the official again. A minute one gone, third quarter. No scoring yet. Here comes St. John to the midcourt stripe for Columbia City. St. John with it. Boston back to St. John in the corners. Marshall on the baseline, whips it across at Deckman. Three off the mark. And loose ball Acoste. And Holsworth. And Lashley up top of Acoste. Shoemaker. Shoemaker across the key. Can't get anything done. Holsworth. Holsworth high left now to the key. Dumps it down low Acoste. He shakes and bakes into the paint. Fires, scores. Deckman wanted a foul. He's not going to get it. I think chirps at the official a little bit. We come the other way. 27-21. Those were the first two of the half. And St. John with 2 minutes going into the third. Down low Richmond. Low scoring affair tonight. Marshall to the bucket. Score! Easy. 29-21. Marshall up to 6 points on the evening. 5:45 to go. And Shoemaker. Clausen almost picked it. Shoemaker almost picked again by Clausen. Shoemaker down low to Acoste, knocked away by Deckman. But saved to Shoemaker. Nice hustle by Deckman as he almost went out the door into the hallway. And short from 17 was Lashley. And St. John on the fly. Back iron, no good. And we go the other way. Here's Wawasee. 29-21. Eagles. Shoemaker. Eagle bench wanted a carrying violation. They don't get it. And foul on Deckman. No further play underneath. Caden Andrew. Coach Schaus is up off the bench. So Caden Andrew will shoot two for the Wawasee Warriors with 4:58 to go third quarter. And Andrew misses. Wawasee has missed several free throws tonight. And another one for Andrew. Short arm bat. And it's the 20th. Oh, St. John in the bucket could not finish the layup. Holy Toledo. And back comes Wawasee, 29-21. Timeout, Wawasee. And girls is rescheduled for the 20th. I assume is that December or January? I guess that would probably be January 20th as we move towards 2026. All right, well, timeout, January. Matt Curry listening. He had other activities tonight. We're on a backup playing, Matt, so that took out Brandon Marshall tonight. He's in the stands now. Thankfully, we got this deal to work. Had some phone issues and so forth to the station, and not getting a signal out of the gym here didn't help the regular setup. So it's just been kind of a mishmash here tonight. And thankfully, we're got this to work. And apparently it sounds good from what I understand. 4:36 to go, third quarter. 29-21, Columbia City. And into the backcourt, they dump it. Wawasee, as we near the midway point of the third quarter. Been a low-scoring affair tonight. Holsworth up top. They dump it down low. Coste, backdoor feed. Oh, and a block. A block by Marshall. And then a foul on Wawasee. Coste on the rebound. So, his first, team's first. 4:15 to go in the third. Columbia City back with it. Marshall came flying out of nowhere to block what was an easy put in right next to the bucket. Marshall has it. Left side. He tries the baseline. Elbow. Spins. Scores! They let the contact go. Didn't call Marshall for leading with the elbow or anything, but it's good. 31-21. They go all the way in. Lose the handle. Coste. Score! Coste, a layup. 31-23 Eagles. 3:40 to go. And Marshall's going to be fouled by Wawasee. (31-23). Ball about to the Eagles. Marshall to the bucket. Layup, score! As he beat his man, 33-23. And 3:15 to go, third quarter. Down low. Lacasse backs in against Richmond on the baseline. Spins, up, under. Blocked by Richmond. Lacasse wanted to foul. You didn't get it. Here's Richmond on the fly. Turns, fires, score! 12-point Columbia City lead, 35-23. Coach Luce barking at the official on the way up. He's not happy. 2:54 to third quarter, 35-20. Wawasee throws it away. A little miscommunication up top. Eberle back in for Deckman. The Hiskets are listening tonight. All right. Wait, that was the other night. Sorry. And here comes Clausen. Bounce pass for Marshall. Marshall knocks his man down. Offensive foul as he ran over Shoemaker. Marshall's third. Their second, team's third, I should say. And Wawasee loses the handle again. Lacasse, left elbow. Lacasse gets help, finally finds Holsworth. The top of three. Score! Shoemaker! 35-26. Eberle pitches it in. Here comes St. John. St. John only with three tonight. He hasn't been able to get off many of his long-range shots. Eberle puts it on the floor and bounces it off his foot. Turnover Eagle. Elkins checks in for Marshall. And 1:54 to go, third quarter. Eagles by 9. Left side, Shoemaker. Dumps it down low, Lacasse. Backdoor feed. They lose the handle. Stolen by St. John. St. John shoves it off Richmond on the baseline. Kicks it across. Clausen in tight quarters. Eberle to St. John. We reset. St. John fake. And he's guilty of step. So St. John guilty of steps, turns it over with a minute and a half to go third quarter to the Warriors. 35-26 Columbia City over Wawasee. And here's Wawasee out of the corner. Shoemaker tied up. Gets it up to Lashley. Shoemaker out of the corner. Sidesteps St. John down low on the baseline. Gets it to Andrew. He kicks it up top to Holsworth. Holsworth works against Clausen. And Wawasee having trouble finding shots, but they go to the bucket. Left-hand left and score. Under a minute to go. 35-28. Eagles 5-7. And up top, Clausen. Into the corner, Elkins. Puts it on the floor to Clausen up top to St. John. St. John spins. Shoves it up to Clausen. And St. John ran out of room. 35 seconds. Coach Shaw up top. Coach Luce might as well be playing. He's well out on the floor. Eberly to Richmond. 20 seconds. Back to Eberly. 15. Foul on Wawasee. And that will be Lashley with 8.8. Fifth second, team third. We dump in the backcourt, Eberly. Gives it to Clausen. Man, Clausen tried to throw it underneath. They're going to run out of time, maybe. Long one. No, just off the mark at the buzzer. So the Eagles lose the handle there, and Akase gets the long one off. 35-28 after 3. So here we go to the fourth. Kind of a strange game. A lot of body, a lot of physical play. Not as many shots taken as you would think. But still a good game nonetheless. 7-point Eagle lead. And again, this could happen in our gym in the sectional in that first week of March. So we go to the fourth. Onto the floor for Columbia City comes Deckman, St. John, Marshall, Clausen, and Richmond. Wawasee brings out Holsworth, Andrew, Akase, Worrell, and Shoemaker. And they've got a couple transfers that are sitting out that may make them maybe a tad better in a couple of weeks there. So St. John with it. St. John, high left. Now to Richmond, back to St. John. He drives and gets blocked by Akase. And foul committed Clausen as we go up the floor. So team foul 1 on the Eagles. So St. John got in there and had nowhere to go with Akase there in his big frame. And official checking on St. John. He got bumped pretty hard. So Wawasee basketball, 15 seconds gone, fourth quarter. It's a 35-28 contest. And Holsworth over on the right side of Akase, holding outside the line. And now Shoemaker around the key, dumps it down to Akase. He sidesteps Marshall off the glass, scores. 35-30. Akase now up to 14. St. John sends it off to Clausen. Up top, Deckman. And St. John down low, Richmond on the baseline. Here's a cutter across the paint. No good. Deckman gets the loose ball on the miss by Marshall. So another opportunity for Columbia City. Boston is 1:05 gone in the fourth. Marshall spins, throws it for Richmond underneath, a little too much. Turnover Eagle. We had something cooking there, but just a little errant on the pass. Here come the Warriors. Holsworth. Holsworth up top on the dribble. Slips to Shoemaker. Now to Andrew. Over for Worrell. Worrell's underneath. They got a man. Whoa, blocked by Deckman. They didn't call a foul. Wawasee bench up in arms. Now here's St. John. Off the glass? No. Tried to do a little too much perhaps there. And Wawasee back with it. 1:45 gone. Akase with it. And Shoemaker. They throw it away. So here come the Eagles. 2 minutes gone to fourth quarter. They lead it by 5 points. Now Marshall. Top Richmond. Marshall to the free throw line. Had it knocked away. Clausen saves the bacon. Richmond up top. Clausen with it. Back to Richmond. He'll load up a three. Short. I don't think that's the shot Coach wanted. Wawasee back with Holsworth. They trail it by 5 to the Warriors. Picked by Eberle almost. And wide on the right side, Worrell. Across. Holsworth. Holsworth holds out top. Left elbow. 5:20 to go. Now Worrell. Worrell. Lost the handle. Almost stolen. Now it is. Eberle picks it off. Eberle into the front court. Gives it to Clausen. Shoves it off Declan. Back to Clausen. Clausen loose to the bucket. Gets it swatted by Akase. Look out. We go the other way. Layup. Score! Holsworth. I don't know what the buzzer rang for. That's a technical foul. I got 6 guys on the floor. The buzzer rang when the play was still gone. The Wawasee player ran onto the floor. So they got too many men. This is like hockey. Too many men on the ice. That should be probably a technical foul. And for some reason, the buzzer rang in the middle of all that chaos after the layup. It's 35-32. Their guy, the buzzer rang. Their guy ran onto the floor, so they temporarily had too many guys on the floor. We were bringing the ball up. That should be a technical foul, shouldn't it? They're going to call it an inadvertent whistle. One of the two. Coach Luce is going to get mad. So Coach Luce getting a little stirred up already. The referee's huddled up. Coach shouts whatever in agreement. But Joe Luce is hot. So this is going to be a technical foul. Marshall's going to shoot. Meanwhile, Coach Luce is going to lose this argument. So some confusion at the bench, and the scores table blew the horn. So this is a technical foul, and Marshall will score the free throw. 36-32. Marshall again, 37-32. So now we're going to put him back in. So now they put Lashley, who inadvertently came in with an inadvertent buzzer. and ran on the floor. We had 6 guys for Wawasee on the floor. That's kind of like too many men in hockey, but so rather bizarre. So after all that chaos, Columbia City got 2 free throws and a technical foul. They have possession and lead it by 5 with 4:35 to go. Eberle down low to Richmond. Up to Eberle now. Eberle sends it off now to Deckman down to the baseline, knocked out of bounds by Wawasee. It will be Columbia City ball right here below me. So 4:21 to go. Fourth quarter, 37-32. Deckman right below me to throw it in. He lobs it in. Richmond's got it in the paint, kicks it out. Clausen, he takes the 3. Nice defense by Wawasee to close on them. And, whoa, we throw it away. A little miscommunication there. So turnover gives it back to Wawasee with 4:10 to go. Holsworth brings it up. Eagles 37, Warriors 32. And up top, high left, Shoemaker. Holsworth down into the right corner. He tries the baseline, ran out of real estate. Almost picked, but they get the ball with Shoemaker. Down to Akase. He's going to go to work against Richmond. Kicks pass across. They don't get anything done. And outside the arc left side now, Lashley. So Holsworth, as Eberle and Akase wrestle around, is trying to lobby for a call. Here's a 3. That's an air ball. They save it. Oh, and it's a layup. Holy crow. Loose ball. Scramble. Bodies on the floor. Akase out of there with it. Kicks it up top. Holsworth a 3. That's off the mark. No good. Collision underneath. Bodies fly. Wawasee foul. No, a Columbia City foul. They call on Eberle. No, they give it to Deckman. It's 4. Team second. So Worrell back. St. John comes back in for Columbia City. So after all that, Deckman picks up his 4th, and they no free throws. Only the second team foul. 3 minutes to go. Wawasee trails Columbia City by 5. Into the paint, Holsworth. Fade away. Got the roll. He got the roll from 14. 37-34. Eagles by 3 with 2:50 to go. St. John, left side high. Down low to Richmond on the baseline. Richmond takes the Kase into the paint, kicks it out. Deckman a 3. That's off the mark. Loose ball, Marshall. Bodies hit the deck below me. St. John sidesteps the man. Deckman into the corner. Clausen again gets a shot up. Deckman again. That's off the mark. Richmond gets the offensive board out to Marshall. 2:20 to go. Eagles by 3. They try to settle it down. Marshall out by the mid-court strike. As the intensity heats up in here. 2:10 to go. 37-34. Marshall. 5 count's going to be on. He makes the move. Touch foul on Wawasee. Shoemaker. That's kind of cheap, really, but the Wawasee foul. But it forces Columbia City to throw it in. Been a physical ball game, that's for sure. They dump it in the backcourt. St. John with it. 2 minutes to go. Columbia City 37, Wawasee 34. Up top, Marshall. Foul on Wawasee. Then it's Shoemaker. His 4th. Team's 3rd. So in the backcourt, it's Marshall. Marshall. All the way in. Layup, score. Right down central. Timeout Wawasee. As Richmond set sail into the middle. Yes, Coach Luce not happy with his troops. So 39-34 is Richmond. Took off into the middle, right down central, laid it in. Nobody really got in his way. And he was like a runaway freight train coming down the lane. .142 to go. Eagles by 5. Been a wild one. So, Wawasee basketball. Length of the floor to go. And walking into the timeline is Holsworth. Down low they go. They lose the handle. Get it back up top. Holsworth again. Shoemaker check that. 1:25 to go. Here's the three. No further play. We got a loose ball foul on Wawasee. His second team fourth, so a loose ball foul on Akase. Gives it back to the Eagles. 39-34, minute 23 to go. Nice job. They get it. Richmond to Deckman to Richmond. Right down central. Lays it in. 41-34. Great ball movement. Wawasee. 1:08 to go. They need points in a hurry. They trail Columbia City by 7. St. John with nice defense on Shoemaker. And now Holsworth dumps it down low. Akase knocked away by Columbia City. Stolen. Here's Marshall to finish it off. He missed the dunk. Clausen. And he hits the deck. No further play. A Warsaw foul. Marshall wanted a foul when he got knocked down on the dunk. They didn't call that. Timeout Wawasee. Marshall better be careful there. It's been a rough game. Anyway, after all that, Clausen will go to the free throw line. As he had the second attempt at it, Marshall went to slam dunk to put the exclamation point on this. He got hit in mid-flight, hit the deck hard. No call. The loose ball went to Clausen. He tried to finish the layup. He got lambasted, and now he'll shoot two. But the Eagles up 7:50 seconds, looking pretty good here. Coach Luce still lecturing the official. So Coach South on the floor talking to Marshall. So Clausen to shoot free throws here. Got it. 42-34. Some of the patrons start to hit the exit. And Clausen another one. Got it. 43-34. 9 points. Foul on Deckman. Got the Columbia City bench up in arms. So Deckman fouls out. Eberly checks in in place of him. Timeout Columbia City now.
Timeout Columbia City. Timeout.
As Coach South wants to get things settled down. And I don't blame you. This has been a little bit wild. Oh, my. What a deal. So 44 seconds. Eagles looking pretty good, up 9. Glad you hung with us tonight. We finally found an avenue to get this thing on and got a couple of different phone numbers, phone lines, whatever the case, it works. Am on a backup plan, but it works. So I don't know how we're going to interview the coach necessarily, but maybe we'll see how that goes. So 44 seconds are all that remains. And again, this could very well happen in the sectional the first week of March at our place, as we will host the girls sectional between all these schools will be at Tippy Valley in Class 3A. So stepping to the free throw line be Nolan Holsworth for Wawasee. They've struggled at the free throw line tonight. So Holsworth eyes it. Got it. 43-35. And Holsworth will have another one. Holsworth got it. So 43-36. Richmond dumps it in. St. John with it. Dan Marshall's got it. 40 seconds. And St. John across the midcourt stripe. Wawasee not committing a foul. And I don't know why they're not fouling. There's the timeout, Columbia City. Interesting. They didn't foul. Let a few seconds run off the clock, but Columbia City calls a 30 with 25 seconds to go. So, so here we go, 25.8, a 7-point Columbia City lead. And Eberle to throw it in the backcourt, picked up by Marshall. Marshall will bring the timeline. It's a 7-point lead. I don't know why Wawasee isn't fouling. He's just going to call off the dog. And that's going to do it. They're just going to run the clock out. Coach Luce kind of concedes. And there's the buzzer. 43-36 your final. So, what a game. And that was quite a battle between two good teams. So a 7-point Columbia City win. And Wawasee will get a little stronger even as they have a couple transfers waiting with days and sit-out time yet. And the Eagles win it by 7 here at the Hardwood PP. 43-36. So, Eagles going to go to 3-0. And this is quite a deal here. Surprising that they let the clock run out with 25-some seconds, didn't commit a foul. And Little Ed had to let the clock run out, so that was amazing. But they conceded. The 43-36 final here tonight at the Hardwood TP in Syracuse. So Eagles will have a happy bus ride home. It's a little later start tonight. Maybe this didn't get underway to 6:30. I was so caught up in being on the phone with the staff at the studio and such. We had a couple junior high things, but sure seemed like this got a late start. We're already at 9:20. Yep, I did say that word, Lana Trimmer. So, the Eagles victorious here at a hard place to win. There's no doubt about it. So, what? I'm on air. So some of the basketball players, the JV guys hassling me, so imagine that. So it's a good night for the Eagles, and glad we got 3/4 of the game with you, roughly. And 43-36, again, the final here tonight. Thank you, Papa Warner. It was kind of a melee to get going here, but thanks to Maddie at the station and Siri and Katherine, Mr. Glass in on it. And so we'll see what we want to do with this. So we'll take the 3-0 record for the Eagles. They'll play Carroll Saturday night at home. That'll be interesting. The JD checking in. Coach Warner and JD. It was a battle to get it on. And the game was a battle, so. Yes, Back Alley Brawler's with me, but he had to sit out because we only had one mic on this backup setup. So, but Columbia City wins this 43-36 here at the Hardwood TP in Syracuse tonight. So we'll see if Coach House wants to deal with trying to do this with one mic or just forget about it for tonight. I'll see if I can figure out what to do here. As some of the Eagles come out. See if we can get anybody's attention here. Getting pretty late, might as well just get home, but we'll see what happens here tonight as we stand by and add a little bit. If I get somebody's attention to figure out what we can do here. As with only one mic, it's going to be rather difficult, but we'll see what happens. Don't forget, Girls host Norwell Friday night. So that should be an interesting ball game. Very tough Norwell squad. It had to move up to 4A this year after all the success factor. So and they've got to deal with Homestead in a sectional. They've already beaten Homestead by 25. So we'll see how that goes. But we won't have to worry about that this year. So, yeah. First Miller. Thank you, you too. Well, several of the basketball boys hooping and hollering at me again. I don't know why, but I seem to be intrigued with the radio announcer. So I get somebody's attention here. I don't know whether I want to do this way or not. We'll see if the coach comes up. This little discombobulated tonight, and we'll see what we can do with this or not. So you want to see if the coach is going to come this way. I'd ask you guys keep yelling at me. You want autographs or what? So we'll see what's going to go on here. But guys, I guess coach is coming up here to talk. So we'll have to pick our way through this. So we'll stand by here. I told back up, so we only got one deal. So okay. I can ask you something and you can talk, or sure. We can do this. All right. Well, Coach South, welcome to the broadcast. You won't be able to hear yourself in here, but it is working back home. So obviously a big win here. It was a tough physical game, a little bit of everything, and it was a gritty effort by your squad.
Yeah, definitely. I think, a couple things. One, I feel like every time we come to this place, it's kind of a grind-out type game like this, and tough place to play, good environment, a lot of fun, sectional opponent, somebody that we may see again. So kind of an old school, at least since I've been at Columbia City, type win, where you find a way to do it. A lot of times the saying that a lot of my past players and these players know, I say, if they don't score, they can't win. That was when it was 37-34. Was about to shoot those 2 free throws, and they didn't score again. So found enough ways to get it done. Wasn't pretty at times. I think the first quarter is what we expected and want it to look like all the time, but that's not always going to be the case. But as long as you can find ways to win and learn from the ways that we can get better through wins, we'll always take that.
So again, your team can grow from a win like this. It's been a little bit of a helter-skelter start with the cancellation and such, but you got 3 games under your belt. This definitely is going to help build for things to come in a tough Carroll squad Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I think a couple of things with this group. Obviously, have a lot of the returning guys. We're missing a big key piece in Stratton Fuller. The ball was in his hands quite a bit. Defensively, he was amazing for us. And I know Ian scored 31 points the other night. But he is just a sophomore, right? And he's learned to mesh and play with this group, and shot selection there towards the end, at least what we expect as coaches. And he'll learn and grow from that, and he's obviously a special player. Anybody who can score 31 points is pretty good. So he's going to learn and grow from that. I think Owen did better there in the second half, found ways to get to his spots and score. And he's only going to get better, right? I still don't think he's played anywhere close to his best basketball. I think he would agree with that as well.
Well, Coach, let us look ahead to Carroll. That's obviously an interesting opponent as always, and playing against Coach Benedict and such, that should be a good challenge Saturday night.
Yep, I agree. And they've got a team. They're some returners that won a sectional last year. Played pretty dang well in the regional against Homestead. And obviously Coach Benedict, everybody knows Coach Benedict and what he does, and he does a great job with his players. So the biggest thing I think with them, it's going to be a pretty similar game, lower possession type affair. We get our emphasis is always on the defensive end. Can we get stops? Can we get rebounds? And then can we get to our transition as best as we can? So, it's going to be a fun battle. We got it at home. I know that Carroll's going to come in hungry because we've had their number the past couple of years, but it'll be a good battle for us, good test, and I'm excited, to play quickly here in a couple of days to prepare and then play again on Saturday.
It's a late one here.
Yeah.
All the that they start 6:15 JV. I was so caught up in having problems with it, I didn't even realize it. Congratulations on the win, Coach. We'll see you back in the big town. Good job. That's Coach Matt South, ladies and gentlemen. We made this work. We're glad he stopped by to talk, even though we had to ad-lib there on the speaker and such. So we got her done. That's the bottom line here tonight. Sorry I did not have the underwriters again, and amidst all the chaos of getting this one put together, probably wouldn't have had time to get with it and get them on anyway. So apologies to that. So a happy bunch of Eagles. Here tonight at the Hardwood TP in Syracuse. And several guys yelling, you want autographs or what? You guys want autographs? 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 Huh? Several of these guys yelling at me down there. I don't know what these guys seem to be infatuated with the radio announcer tonight. So, oh, these guys are hilarious. Good guys in the basketball program. Some of them in the golf program, no less. So I get a double dose of some of these guys. Well, with all of that being said, good night to get a W for the Eagles, and they'll travel home, and we'll look forward to Saturday night for Carroll for the boys, Friday night, Norwell for the girls. So that's what's coming up next, and good luck to swimming and wrestling along the line. Swimming's got actually an invitational up here on Saturday morning, so that'll be the deal on Saturday morning. So that's going to be what transpires. So thanks for hanging in there tonight, everybody. Thanks to Katherine, Siri, and Maddie at the station, and Mr. Glosser for his help along the line. So that's going to be it tonight. Andrew Thompson saying so long from the Hardwood TP in Syracuse, telling you the final score on this Tuesday. Check that Wednesday night, 43-36 in favor of the Columbia City Eagles. Thanks for listening. We'll see you Friday night.
Highway traffic